Am I an a-hole for refusing to pay child support to my ex-wife for our children so she and her husband can save for their own kids? My ex-wife and I are parents of our daughter who is 17 and our son who is 15. We share custody of our kids 50-50, and we have been divorced for 13 years now. Neither of us pay for child support because we have equal time with the kids and split the cost of everything. This includes school, medical, dental, extracurricular, you name it. When each kid was born, I opened them up their own bank accounts and have saved from the get-go. Around 8 or so years ago, I came into some money because I was injured at work and put that money into those bank accounts. I even received more money from a relative who passed away 4 years ago, and I left a big sum of that money into those bank accounts for my children. The money I have now is saved for them and will help them tremendously in their future, whether they go to college or not. This is where the problem happens. My ex-wife remarried several years ago. Her stepdaughter is 16. She's got a nephew of her husband that they're raising who is 14, and she has a 5 and a 7-year-old with me, her old husband. The ex-wife wanted to talk to me about college for our kids, and she told me that she and her husband had told their kids that community college would be the most affordable option for them, and that they would get as much help as possible, but a more expensive school would be very tough on the whole family. I told her that our kids would have that option if they wanted it because I have saved a more than enough healthy amount for them. She asked why I never told her sooner, and I told her because I take care of our children and it wasn't something she needed to know. A few days after this, she called me and along with her new husband and said that they would like me to pay child support for our kids so that they can have enough money for their children's future. I told her I was not going to pay for her child support just so she could support the other children in her home. Her husband told me I could always offer to split the money between all the children. And I told him I was not paying for his kids to go to college. I told him that I only had responsibility for my children. I also told him if they wanted to save more money, I would be happy to take the kids more if they, my kids, want to spend more time with me at home. Then my ex-wife called me cruel and said keeping 50-50 and paying the money so our kid's sibling can go to college should be a no-brainer for me. I responded to her. I told her that the day I have an obligation to help support her entire household is a day in another universe where we have never broken up. But we did, and she has to accept that she is equally responsible for our kids as well as I do. They both told me that I was an ass. And even though I feel like I'm crazy for asking, am I an a-hole? For our next story, it's titled, Am I an a-hole for telling my husband I'd rather nobody use my holiday vacation booking out of spite? My husband and I have been together for 5 years and married for 3. We're both athletic people, or at least I used to be. We have been planning to go on a holiday vacation for the past year. Without going into major details, it's an expensive one by my standards, and it would have involved a lot of hiking. I was looking forward to it. I was in an accident recently, and once again, I won't go into much detail about it as it's triggering. Lost my leg. It's upsetting, but I'm not in a place to openly speak about it outside of therapy. Obviously, due to this recent restriction, I'm unable to do what we planned for this holiday vacation. I hadn't thought about the vacation. It's non-refundable. I had expected my husband not to want to go. Currently, his family hasn't asked once if I'm okay and how I'm doing. And my family claimed that it's hard to be around me because they don't know how to support me or whatever. He said yesterday he invited his sister in my place. I was baffled because I expected him to support me. He said it's not for 2 months. I'm like, so? Cancel and something we both can do. He said he needs a break, that he's been supporting me and he deserves this and he was looking forward to it. I said, "You go, but I paid for my spot so she can't use it." He asked if I was being serious and that it's spiteful. His sister hasn't done anything. I said that his sister hasn't asked me once of how I'm doing. She texted me last week for $150 on why she can't get a free holiday vacation. Anyways, he's upset claiming that he should still be able to go and pay for his sister, which I know he won't since A, it's expensive, and B, last I checked it was fully booked. So I have to ask, am I an a-hole for this? For our last story of today, am I an a-hole for saying that I won't come to Christmas at my in-laws if I can't wear a hat? This is a petty little thing, but maybe you guys can let me know if I was in the wrong. For context, I'm a 25-year-old female and got married in November. My mother-in-law doesn't really like me, even tried to steal the spotlight at my wedding, but it's still overly traditional. At Thanksgiving, I was having a really bad hair day, so I wore a black leather cap, a dressier and new boy style one, which my husband said it looked very good on me. The holiday was hostile, even more so than the prior gatherings I've been to. And my husband said the mother-in-law said it was because I wore a hat. But I know it was just an excuse. I told my mother-in-law I wouldn't come to Christmas with them, then blocked her number and Facebook. My husband is trying to keep both of us happy since he doesn't like conflict. He wants me to come to one more celebration to see if maybe people are getting used to me. He told his mother-in-law that she needs to be nice and treat me as part of the family, since I am considered family. And that if I feel unwelcome at Christmas like I did at Thanksgiving, that we won't attend future events and she will see him much less. I understand why he wants me to give her one final chance and haven't had any conflict with him. Marriage is about compromise, and I get he doesn't want to cut her off since she's his mother. But I just don't want to get involved with her unless I have to. I wanted to see if mother-in-law was listening to him, so I asked my husband to request that I be allowed to wear the same hat to Christmas. The husband said he thought I'd worn it because I had a bad hair day, but this time I'm wearing it as a statement that they shouldn't treat me as an outsider, either because I wear hats all the time or they just don't like me. If they won't let me wear a hat, what else are they going to restrict about me? Let me be or I won't come. Period. My husband agreed and relayed this to his mother. And she responded to him, why did he marry the devil? He's growing tense with me and I told him he'll probably have to pick a side sooner or later and that I never intended it that way. He spent last night at a friend's house because he needed time to think. I feel bad because I care about him and no conflict stresses him out. I told him to text me when he was ready to talk. He wasn't yet. My friends think that my hat request was unnecessary and maybe I strained my relationship with my husband. I think he just needed some space to think because conflict stresses him out. So I'm going to ask, am I an a-hole for saying I won't come unless I can wear a hat to the Christmas party? I decided to throw in a bonus story. Am I an a-hole for asking my pregnant girlfriend to pay for or replace my meal because she ate all of it? I've been with my girlfriend for 2 years. Before we ever met, her and her sister has been working on her to become a surrogate for her sister and her husband. Global things delayed all of that. We talked about her agreement before we got together and that she was pregnant for them. She's staying with them for now, but she comes over to my place frequently to spend time with me when she's free. It's not so bad, but either she raids my kitchen or complains nothing looks good and wants me to keep some stuff for her cravings on hand. My parents came to visit me and asked if I wanted them to pick anything up for me on their way. They had passed one of my favorite restaurants, so I said yes. They showed up to my place, we hung out for a little bit. I ate a little bit of what they brought me since I wasn't really hungry at the time and put the rest in the fridge for dinner that night. My girlfriend came over a little bit after they left. She got hungry and wanted a snack. and came out with a container of my leftovers and goes, "Can I have some of this?" I told her yes. She came back with the plate and didn't take some of it. She took all of the food and put all kinds of stuff on it that we couldn't share. I told her that she could have some of it, and she ate all of it of what I intended to have for dinner. So I asked her to either send me money to pay for so I could have some for myself, or that she can make a drive and get me another order. She didn't want to drive that far and didn't think she should have to pay me anything. I responded that she should because it's a nice thing for her to do, and since she gets cravings, but she's not pregnant with my kid and that we don't live together. She left at that point, left half the food uneaten, and I wouldn't eat it because of the type of stuff she puts on it. A couple of hours later, my mother called. My girlfriend texted her about what happened. My mom gave me an earful about how I have no idea what it's like for my girlfriend right now, and I need to be supportive and let things go. So I have to ask, am I a-hole for asking her to get me my food back? Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stories. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell if you guys want to hear more stories. You can check it in the channel. I'll see you guys next time.